Howard in Hollywood, Florida. Hey, Howard, what's up?
Hey, Tom. Part of our problem as Democrats, and that includes you too, and I don't mean any disrespect when I say that. We are too ethical. We are too nice. We're playing a game in politics, and the idea is to win. And the Republicans are very good at playing the game. That's why they win.
Respectfully, Howard, I would argue that the game is not just to win. The game is also to be played. You know, the old cliche about life is a journey, not a destination. If in order to play in politics, I have to sacrifice my values, I would simply say no, thank you. And I personally, I mean, this is very much like the conundrum that Native Americans faced when Europeans first came over here. If you fight them on their terms, you become them. If you run from them and hide, then you've got a serious problem. And if you hold to your values, then there's a chance, and it happened and pretty spectacularly, and I mean that in a negative sense, to most Native American tribes. There's a chance you'll get wiped out. And what I think the Democrats need to do is say our values are the values on which this country was founded. Our values are at the core of every progressive change in the history of this country. And our values are pushing forward for more progressive change in this country. This list I read to you yesterday, where all of these things, the majority of Americans are in favor of: allowing government to negotiate drug prices, low student loan rates, universal pre-K, fair trade, ending tax loopholes for corporations. I mean, the list has got 40 things on it. I won't go through, impose the whole thing on you. But I think that we can maintain our dignity and sanity and values and push back. I don't think you have to be, not Mr. Nice Guy in order to win.
Well, the idea is, in order for us to do any of these things, we have to win first. It doesn't.
We got our guy in the White House, Howard.
Yeah, but we don't have control with the caucus room meeting.
No, I understand.
And with the two Santa Claus theory, and both of those you do very nicely, and pass them on to many people. But here's the other part of it. If the shoe was on the other foot, you better believe Darrell Issa would be holding hearings right now. And where are our hearings? Eric Holder can hold hearings. And we could make these people look idiots. And why aren't we doing it?
Well, I think I can't speak for the Democratic Party, and I haven't had this conversation with any Democrats or Democratic advisors, but my guess would be that tearing apart the country or going on a vendetta against these Republicans who wrote this letter is going to be more harmful than it would be of value. I think that the president's taking the high road.
We're being nice guys again.
Right.
And
that's why I'm saying let's prosecute the Republican Party for racketeering and organized crime violations. Let's put an end to this Republican Party, or at least ask them to majorly reinvent themselves. And I mean, they're taking hundreds of millions of dollars that are not disclosed. And in exchange for that, I mean, Tom Cotton taking almost $1 million from the Emergency Fund for Israel and then, spitting out this letter. And then the day after the letter, he goes and he speaks to a group of defense lobbyists. I mean, that's who Tom Cotton is, really? I think as America figures this out, these guys are going to lose their base of support.
But why not use hearings as a basis for doing all of this?
Well, because we don't control the House or the Senate. And John Boehner and Mitch McConnell decide who has subpoena power in their respective bodies. So right now, Democrats don't have subpoena power.
How about Eric Holder? How about the Justice Department?
You would have to open a criminal investigation. And if you open a criminal investigation in the executive branch of members of Congress, you're going to have a terrible mess. I mean, it's just not going to work. Howard, I totally. And in some ways, I think what I'm calling for is more radical than what you are. I'm saying it's time to put this party out to pasture. Let's bring the wigs back. And Howard, thank you for the call. We'll be back.